I've got the video on, so
It's one
ready.
of the rivers that you can actually see right down almost to the lake.
I love how this is like a junkyard here. Is there a purpose for this area here, or is it just people are dumping stuff?
It's one of the inland rivers and creeks off Lake Macquarie. They call it Cockle Creek, but it's more of a river as we come to it.
And what is all this stuff here that's going on? Is it just
But
contained?
it's always been an industrial area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not a place where they're dumping all their rubbish.
And if you look down along the creek,
right.
you'll see the lake way down the bottom.
Oh yes. Okay.
It's a huge lake.
Wow.
It's
I saw it,
massive.
yeah.
If you look at on Google Maps, you look for Lake Macquarie.
What was this
It's
called?
huge.
What was this called? This station?
Lake Macquarie.
No, the station.
Oh, this is Cockle Creek.
Cockle Creek. Okay.
Yeah, this is along here. This is all planned for industrial.
Okay. So it's not farming area at all.
No,
No.
this is on the outskirts of Newcastle.
Right.
This is a suburb of Newcastle. It's Cockle Creek.
So we should be getting to Newcastle soon then. I'm waiting for the clock to come up.
One of the big railway workshops up here. They manufacture diesel locos.
7:34. So
Yeah.
yes.
Just along this side here is the big railway workshop that builds the diesel locomotives.
Okay.
They also built a lot of these Sydney trains,
Yeah.
and they also do maintenance. This is the Cardiff workshops. It's now part of EDI, Evans Deakin Industries, and they build brand new locomotives.
Oh, there's a nice little diesel thing train in that shed there. I missed it, but it was very faint. It was being probably refurbished.
Those locomotives there are from Sweden.
Are they?
Yeah,
What are they doing there?
Second hand. They're
What
the
they-
same as an 81 class.
So what are they doing in the?
Oh, they probably come to the end of their life, but they were cheap to buy from Sweden. They're the same, different body, but the same engine as the New South Wales 81 class. And it's handy to pull them apart for spares. She knows her railway.
There you go.
Well-
Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
I found out about the bike racks. So they,
Oh, okay.
they are hang up.
Yeah.
And there's a strap down the bottom to hold the back wheel.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't slip off.
So
Yeah.
if
Okay.
you wanted to have a look,
Yeah.
just at the bottom of this in the vestibule, there's three there.
Oh,
so yeah,
okay.
you hang it up and then there's a strap down the bottom.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
you.
One
That's
thing I
okay.
like too, I noticed, see these little things to hang the coat?
Oh, yes.
Yes, I saw that. I tried it out. It works.
Yeah.
And do you know what else that would be?
Doesn't hang a hat, but.
The next stop is Cardiff.
Yeah.
That would be good.
It doesn't have a bike in it, so it's not.
No, I know.
There's a 721 going out there at Lisa.
Oh, sorry, missed it.
This stop is Cardiff. Use doors on the right in the direction of
So
travel.
yeah, I call myself not a train spotter because I'm not a train spotter. I'm a transport enthusiast.
Yeah.
Because I cover
in
planes,
many
trains,
ways
and
I'm the
automobiles.
same. I come from a group of people that were interested in.
Oh dear, look at the sign on Cardiff. It needs a bit of a paint.
Yeah, we were interested in photographing and recording Sydney ferries, Sydney's double-decker buses,
I remember those. Just.
the green double-decker buses.
yeah, yeah. Where the
ocean liners.
where the
aircraft.
conductor
We've-
used
we've
to hang out the
photographed
back.
all those, yeah.
The conductor used to hang out the back of the bus.
Yeah,
You wouldn't be
that's
caught
what I
doing
say.
that now.
I've never been a train spotter. I'm sort of a train enthusiast.
Yes.
I like to travel on them. I've travelled all over Australia on them, and I've travelled on them in America on Amtrak. And,
That's I actually haven't been on Amtrak, but I went on the VIA a lot, and I really like first class, but economy is not as good. So,
yeah, yeah,
but yeah, it's really nice in the snow. I love taking a train in the snow.
yeah, yeah. I enjoy. I love that trip. I've done it many times. Been from New York to Boston. Goes up along the coast. You go through all these little fishing villages, and but they're nice trains up to Boston.
What I'd really like to do is Montreal has a new REM, and it's a new train, a driverless. I think it's a driverless train
In Montreal.
and I really want to go on it.
Yeah.
It's quite new. It's only a couple of years.
You never say Montreal.
It's Montreal.
Montreal.
Yeah.
Mount Royal.
That's
Mount
right.
Royal.
Yeah, I know.
It's okay in most of Canada, but in Quebec, the Quebecois like it pronounces as a French Montreal.
Yeah, when I'm over there, I try to say Montreal instead of Montreal because I'm used in English. It is Montreal.
I came down on the Amtrak sleeper train from Montreal to Washington many years ago, and it was an interesting trip. The conductor woke me up to go and have breakfast in the dining car as we were coming into New York, coming over the cutting across the channels from the East River to Long Island before they went underground to the Penn Station. And then I got off at Washington and got a car and drove all around the south. But railways can take you to some amazing places.
Yep.
As I say, an interest in train travel takes you. I have relatives in Britain, so I go there about every 4 or 5 years just to catch up with them and see them. They come out here.
Yeah.
But I've always been a transport enthusiast because I've photographed double-decker buses and old
ferries.
Wooden ferries on the harbour.
The ferries are interesting. Like Ferry McFerry Face is probably my favourite.
Yeah.
But some of the ferries that you go on Sydney Harbour now, they're not that good.
No.
They're actually pretty poorly made, and getting on and off them, you think, really? You need a man standing on the wharf to go and put the rope around and you have to pull it in. It's like, really? You have Ferry McFerry Face and you've got the automatic,
The Mossman run's a good scenic run. You go across to Cremorne Point and then round to Musgrave Street, Old Cremorne and Mossman. And the other good run is Neutral Bay. It just does the circle of all.
I tell you what, the best ferry run is the Mortlake Ferry.
Oh, the one up the river.
Yes.
Yeah.
It take 5 minutes to get across, and it's like a barge. It's not a ferry.
The car ferry.
Yeah, it's a car. Yeah.
That's the Mortlake Ferry.
Yeah. Isn't that an interesting ferry?
Yeah. Sydney had about 6 of those around.
I know. They had one on the Hawkesbury.
Lagano.
A Hawkesbury one as well.
Is
that still
Barara's is still running.
I've got to get on that one. Yeah. That one's an interesting one.
Yeah, if you go down from Barara, you come
Hawkesbury
to Barara
River.
Water Ferry. We had one at Lagano. We had one at Sans Souci to Tarrant Point.
Oh, I never took any notice at that one when I was living down that area.
I photographed all of those.
Oh, did you?
Down through there because I travelled on them as a child.
Wow.
But Newcastle had car ferries. They had big car ferries because there was no bridge. You had to go all the way to Hexham to cross the river, and then they built the North Arm Bridge, which replaced the ferries. But the ferries ran from Newcastle to Stockton, really big. You could put double-decker buses on them.
It's like the Canadian ferries in Vancouver, where they have ferries to Bowen Island.
Yeah.
And they have cars on them, or you can walk on. And I always get confused. Like, where do I go?
Seattle's the same.
They have ferries.
If you're in Seattle, take the Bremerton ferry. It's a 55-minute trip, very scenic.
Okay.
Bremerton, from Seattle.
Okay.
They have car ferries go to all different places, like Sydney Harbour, but they use car ferries to all the different islands and then off Seattle, all around Puget Sound.
Yeah, I'm going to have to travel more in the ferries when I go overseas again because
we're coming into the inner suburbs now.
So what suburbs? These ones with strange names, aren't they? The suburbs with strange
Katara
names.
was back there. This is Adamstown.
Katara I've heard of. Adamstown I haven't really heard of. But there's a few, isn't there a few suburbs that have strange names? Like, I've never heard of them before. Like,
Was that out towards Maitland or?
no, towards Newcastle.
Oh, we're coming out of Newcastle. We used to have Newcastle, then Civic, then Wickham, Hamilton,
No.
Broadmeadow, Adamstown, Katara, Cardiff. Going that way, you had Waratah, Sandgate. What was next? Hexham, Taro. But see, all the stations and the suburbs are named after the Newcastle in Britain.
There's
See,
another.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
some of these are still waiting to have modifications.
Oh, okay.
They're not available for service. Yes, see, Newcastle in Britain has Hexham. It has Wallsend because in Newcastle in Britain, that is where the Hadrian's Wall starts. That's why they call it Wallsend. It goes right across the other side.
Okay.
To
That's a nice. I like the cube. The yellow cube.
Oh, Cube, yeah.
Yeah.
But so here they've just taken the same names. See,
But you know what's
Gateshead's another one.
the confusing one is Broadmeadow.
Yeah.
Because Broadmeadow, New South Wales and Broadmeadows in
Yeah.
in Victoria, they're on the regional train line, so you have to pick the right one.
Yeah.
What's this stop?
So the Broadmeadow Express service.
Oh, Broadmeadow. Oh, wow. So we sort of did go express. I missed a
All
couple
the
of
expresses
stations.
stop here.
Yeah. It's not very exciting out of Broadmeadow, is it?
Oh, it's very, very suburban.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very old too. It suffered badly in the earthquake. When the earthquake in, what was it, 1989. Because it's a coal area.
Yeah.
Every house had 2 or 3 very tall chimneys. And when it shook, they all fell over and crashed through the roofs of the houses. I was at work that day. We were at 6 floors up in Harbour Park House in Civic, and the outside of the building, the brick veneer of the building fell out down onto the railway line. I remember I was talking to a lady on the phone, and I said, I'll have to go. Something's wrong with our building, because the building was
Shaking like yeah. I slept through an earthquake. So
we had to go home by bus that way that day. They couldn't run any trains. 163 k's from Sydney.
oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. I sort of got. I don't know if I got that shot, but it's right.
Over here's
Here we are at Broadmeadows and leaving Broadmeadows, and I
Lot of
think
entertainment
the
area
next
here. There's-
stop is
Entertainment.
Newcastle
There's the
Interchange, I believe.
showground.
Looks like an ice skating ring,
Central Coast
Yeah.
and Newcastle line service.
but it's not.
to Newcastle
It's not an ice skating
Interchange,
ring, is it? No.
Stopping at Hamilton, Newcastle Interchange.
I thought Newcastle Interchange was at Warwick. Warwick?
It's near Wickham.
Oh, it's more Wickham.
Not
Oh,
quite. at
Wickham, sorry,
Hamilton,
Wickham.
Hamilton,
Sorry.
Newcastle Interchange. Next stop, Hamilton. Change at Hamilton, swap onto line. Thank you.
Oh, so we're not there yet. There's still a few stops before.
Yeah, there's this.
Oh, okay.
They stop at Hamilton so that people can change to the diesel trains to Maitland.
Ah, so that's how
And
it
see,
works.
there's an 817 Endeavour train that
This
goes up
train
to
will
Muswellbrook
stop at
and back.
Hamilton.
That's another trip. That's
I've been
interesting
to
see.
Muswellbrook,
Yeah.
yes.
That way there is to Armidale and to Brisbane.
Okay,
That go that way.
so there's a split here. I call it a split, non-technical term.
The original locomotive depot was right here where this grass was.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
A lot of interesting things.
but very old suburbs.
Yeah.
we cross on a level crossing. We cross Beaumont Street.
What is this here? Is this which line is this one here?
This is
the
to Maitland. And,
okay, so it's the same.
And the North Coast and Armidale and Moree. But we're coming to the level crossing at Beaumont Street, and it's the upmarket eatery.
Oh, is it?
This is where people come to dine. And it's.
Will I set out this window? Or
Oh, you'll see both sides.
Oh, will I?
Probably
Okay.
The main street's down that side.
okay.
Yeah.
So it is a level. Oh, it is a level crossing too. Wow. Hamilton Junction. Oh. That's interesting. How does that level crossing work? I mean, is it busy all the time or?
This
Yes,
stop
yeah,
is
because
Hamilton. Use doors
have-
on the left in the direction of travel.
You have 2 trains an hour from Sydney, 2 trains an hour to Sydney, and you have, I think it's a 20-minute service to and from Maitland. So they're down, they're up, they're down, they're up at the boom gates.
Yeah.
So it's very, very busy.
I think they need to do something about that.
Yeah.
Like they did out at on the way to Ballarat, how they had all the level crossings. They started putting
Yes,
the
they've been trying to
pedestrian.
replace them.
Yeah, but they put
Yeah.
all the pedestrian
There's
overpasses
an
over
Endeavour
them.
train.
Oh yeah. You can't really get a good view from up here. Oh, you can get the back of it. Yeah, they have a slightly different carriage.
This is the servicing and cleaning place where they park them
Okay.
overnight to clean them
Yeah.
and service. They can decant the toilets and everything.
Probably the worst job on earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like how they've taken out the level crossings and put the overpasses on.
Yeah.
But problem is, if you're going in that direction, you have to go da 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 across it. It takes you longer. Whereas if you're going towards back to Southern Cross, you're happy because you don't have to go over the overpass. So, yeah, there's a few advantages and disadvantages to them.
We've got very few now. They've just about done away with them all. The most inconvenient one is at Fairfield, and there's a set of traffic lights on the other side, and people are impatient and they pull up onto the track while the lights are still red and there's cars in front of them between them, and the train comes along, and they panic and they can't get off the level crossing. But they put a speed restriction on the trains.
Oh,
the trains are
okay.
not allowed
Slow
to,
down,
Got to
yeah.
slow down to 40k just
Okay.
in case
Yeah.
somebody's on the level crossing. But it's
Right.
still not good. They should have done away. And the silly part about it,
This
they built
train
this
will
big
stop
expensive
at
bridge
Newcastle
beside it,
Interchange.
and people don't use it. They use the level crossing.
Because it's more convenient, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that
It's
happens.
crazy. What's your view?
Off. Train. It's
I don't know
nice.
about the seats.
Oh,
Take Garra seats, but I don't think it's going to worry the younger generation. Always got their face in their phone
true.
or their
I like looking out the
The
windows.
next
but
stop is
they're not that
Newcastle
bad.
Interchange. Change at Newcastle Interchange
Oh, are we here?
for Intercity Hunter Line
Well,
and
let's
light
get train
rail
tables.
services.
You train crew or